Good evening, everyone. This is Jordana. Welcome to Crown Knowledge Radio. Thank you for tuning in again with an energy check and what we are looking at going into 2027. Can you believe it? Again, welcome to Crown Knowledge Radio. This is Jordana. Coming in with another energy check. In case you didn't hear me, we're 4 months away from 2027. I heard somebody say that the other day, and it's really hard to believe. Like, if you really think about it, where did your year go? Where did it go? What happened? I've been doing energy checks on and off. I've been coming in with energies for, the full moons, the eclipses, the blood moons, all of the portal energies that happened over the year. We just came into and just about to go out of the 8-8 portal, which is another energy shift. Very interesting. I don't know. I've been feeling kind of in and out of the frequency, but the shift definitely took place. As they say, once you see it, you can't unsee it. So there's a lot of aggressive energy around you at this time, a lot of desperate energy around you this time, a lot of fear. On either side, it doesn't really matter at this time. So it's kind of like the purging that takes place when you're trying to detox your body and you feel all of this weird, unexplained, some of it unexplained energy that's kind of purging itself out of your vicinity. And that's what's happening right now as a whole. And again, specifically, I don't know if I was going to talk about the targeting and gang stalking right now because that pot is still being stirred. So, and there's definitely a shift in energy over there. The frequency is pretty much the same. But there is definitely a purging going There's definitely a purging going on. And again, based on the energy and information that I'm dealing with currently, I just wanted to come on and give another energy check. Again, we're 4 months away from 2027, and this is where it is. This is what's going on. So based on the information, again, if you want to find my information and more information on targeting and gang stalking and what's that looks like right now, 4 months away from 2027, there are more trials that are being implemented with the Senate on targeting MK Ultra, EMPs, DEWs. If you know, you know, and what has happened as it relates to, I believe there was some information regarding China and Russia. Again, this isn't Durdana Crown Knowledge Radio. This is what's going on at the Senate right now. So this isn't private. I'm not divulging anything like catastrophic. Like, it's already there. It's already out there. It is now public knowledge, which is happening as we speak. So again, if you want to know more about that in particular, you can go over to Substack. Again, is a good resource for all things targeting and gang stalking, targetedjustice.com. Shout out to them. And the people who are really on the progressive side of, or the right side, or the authentic side of being targeted and being gang stalked. When I tell y'all, we can't make this up. We definitely cannot make this up. And let me just, I put the we on there, but I can't make this up because, number one, I don't know how I got here. Let me just be real clear. Why I'm on this side of this is God's plan. It's not my plan. I had other plans, like I would love to be in Costa Rica right now, just minding my own business. But unfortunately, this is where God put me. So this is where I am. And this is the energy that's going down in gang stalking. So I'm going to talk a little bit about micro targeting again. Micro-targeting, I don't think I made that up. I don't think I did. Micro-targeting is going inside those campaigns and digging a little deeper in the nuances that happens around targeting, especially when they feel they have no other alternative. Why they feel they have no other alternative is crazy, because you can just go home. That's always a choice. Just leave. Go home. Just okay. We did this. They did that. We're done. That's always an alternative. So why they feel like there is no other alternative is really weird. But that's okay too. That's all part of the gang stalking and targeting narrative. And I'm going to talk a little bit about shifting into your power, which is happening. Like I said, we're still moving through the 8/8 portal, even though today is the 12th. And once this eclipse is done and over with, which is going to be Friday, I believe, or Saturday, I don't know. It's just however the energy flows. And we will be on the other side of what is considered and deep into what is considered the age of Aquarius, which, so again, it started way back. I forgot what year they said. So if you still think that you're in the age of Pisces and the Vesica fish and all of that, yeah, that's probably why you're acting weird to a lot of people. That's probably why you seem to be on the outskirts of what the hell. Like if you are just like, you are running around with your head in the clouds still, and you still think that, organic food is truly authentically organic unless you grew it yourself, then I don't know. But that's just an example. So whatever is happening into and on the way in the midst of the age of Aquarius, that's what we're talking about right now. So with that being said, the only reason why I am speaking of micro-targeting again is because it is something that is happening right now, currently, as we speak, present day, 2026. I almost said 2027. Wow. 2026, as of August 12th, where I am, it's almost 2 o'clock. So this is what's happening. This is the energy that's going down. This is what these individuals feel they need to do to accomplish something that started that had nothing to do with you. Let me just be clear. This was all planned and started and implemented and taken place without your knowledge, initially. There was no indication that you participated in this. There was no indication that you signed up for this. There was no indication that you volunteered to be targeted, stalked, harassed, and otherwise tracked, monitored, recorded, harmed, hurt, or manipulated in any way. None of that did you sign up for. You didn't volunteer for this. And if you're like me, you probably got caught in the midst of helping someone. And that's interesting, because several individuals have made that perfectly, like, you reached your hand out to help family. I'm just using that as an example because in my case, it's probably on all sides. And again, like I said, there's 4 sides to my targeting. And probably 4 different groups that are doing it for 4 different reasons. Definitely the bottom line is money. Let's just we're not even going to play with it. The bottom line for all of it, regardless of where or how it's coming, is money. And I believe in maybe one case of someone who was coerced, asked, paid, or otherwise manipulated to do this. It could have been based on a relationship that they perceived, quote unquote, that I was connected to, and that turned out not to be true. So either way you want to slice it, it really does come out to money and your stability, your security, and again, all of that is connected to money. Individuals who wanted the money based on whatever reason they felt they needed the money. They wanted to stop or cancel or block me having any financial means to care for myself, which is, that's weird in itself. But even on the relationship side of that energy and micro targeting, it still boiled down to money. The individuals, no one's going to travel from another state using gas, manpower, whatever it is you need to spend along the way, if there is no money at the end of that rainbow. Let's not be afraid to say the word money, because you could be, and again, going back to the initial, how did you end up under watch, right? How did you initially end up under watch? That started out as, I don't know, I guess I don't have another word that would describe retaliation, maybe jealousy, maybe someone felt like they had to get a lick back based on whatever. A lot of people are using the word whistleblower. I don't even know that really wouldn't apply to me. I've heard, other, vengeance. And again, in the workplace, it would come across as retaliation or to shut you down. So it would come in some type of form like that, or something else that I probably haven't mentioned. It'll come across that way. So why would somebody say, hey, and again, this is my understanding that someone has to be connected. I don't think that's true. I feel like I'm going to drift off into another show, but I might, but I'm just going to go with the energy. Even under the guise of what is being talked about now, which are flock cameras, they're supposed to serve a particular purpose. They are already being misappropriated. Already, I'm hearing that teams of individuals who are entrusted to review, track, monitor, and otherwise see the information from a flock camera are already misappropriating that authority and being exposed, and in some cases arrested, fired from their it's a flock camera. It's on the street, but somehow someone felt like it was okay and maybe even funny to misappropriate what the flock cameras are used for. Me personally, I don't mind the flock camera. As long as I'm on the legal side of things, I don't mind the flock camera if it's being used to, lessen the possibility of crime in your area. If you're concerned about that kind of thing, or something else may happen, maybe a child is missing, and then the flock cameras assist in that kind of way. Maybe there was an accident somewhere in the area and someone fled the scene. The flock cameras, there's a lot of good that these cameras can be used for. So that's just my rant. I don't want to go all the way down that rabbit hole, but in that same sense, this targeting and gang stalking program initially was created for good. It was supposed to do some good as far as Homeland Security. It was supposed to be initiated to help Americans and American citizens feel safer. I'm truncating it. I mean, again, if you want a long, drawn out articles and statutes and all of the detailed knowledge of the humble beginnings, I should say, of the non-legal or non-criminal monitoring programs, whatever else they would call them in the very beginning, it was supposed to be to make Americans feel safer. Again, my understanding, if I'm missing something, y'all can correct me down the road, or again, going over to Substack, there's a there's a mountain of information that can clarify how, where. Again, targetedjustice.com, shout out to them. They can give you information on where this program initiated from. You'll hear a lot of alphabets being thrown around there. A lot of programs, sub-programs, sub-programs, initial monitoring and watch programs that all culminated somewhere that was hidden under the guise of a different type of program to now becoming targeting and manipulation by other means and devices of American citizens. You will see a small portion of this, and the movie was really deep as far as the information that was exposed. But you'll see a lot of that mentioned in the movie regarding Mr. Snowden. You'll see sort of the initial stages of how it could go really, really wrong, really, really fast. How something that is meant for someone's good, a group, a community, a people, a planet, something that is meant for the good of humanity can go really, really wrong, can be misappropriated and go left really, really fast, just based on this. We can do this? I didn't know that we could do this. Yeah, watch. I can peer into this person's bathroom. And maybe they think it's funny. That just made me throw up a little bit in my mouth, but maybe they think it's funny. They think it's funny to watch young children, women, elderly individuals in compromising and in a lot of cases humiliating situations that they have access to based on some type of authority and the technology that was built around that authority to be able to search and seek information about individuals on the planet for the betterment or the good, quote unquote, of said planet and humanity. However, somehow, someone, we don't know, you know what I'm saying? Unless we are right there in the room, sitting at the table at the boardroom, and they say, you know what? We found out that we could look in people's, not to mention our computers and private pictures and telephones and, all the way down to monitored electronic skateboards. I don't know. They can look at all that information. They can tell you where all the electronic skateboards are right now on the planet. Just as an example. I don't know. I'm just... But the narrative is to be able to find information, locate it, isolate it to whatever incidents that is quote unquote threatening the planet, humanity as a whole. And so fast forward, present day, 2026, this information thus far has been used to hurt, harm, endanger, manipulate, cause loss and injury, and has in a lot of cases ended up with it resulting in the incarceration or ending of many, many human beings based on the fact that there are so many subcategories of this targeting and gang stalking that nobody can find the individuals responsible for. Nobody, not even the people that the sub programs are connected to, because you could follow the evidence up the ladder, and I'm not even an investigator, but if you follow the evidence up the ladder, but let's just say for the sake of what is, currently transpiring. So now those subgroups are being uncovered based on what the program was set out to be in the first place. It has resulted in, again, the last time I checked over on Substack, based on their deep investigation and their deep uncovering and studying and revealing information, hundreds of thousands of individuals who have found themselves at the unhealthy end of targeting and gang stalking. There's no way that hundreds of thousands, and probably more since the last time I checked, again, like I said, this is 2024 numbers that I'm talking about. So I'm sure that unbeknownst to them, that the MK Ultra hearings were going to happen, and the targeting and gang stalking hearings were going to happen. The hearings regarding anomalous brain injury hearings are also happening based on using DEWs. That those hearings are now happening. Nobody knew that. I don't think anybody actually saw that coming, except for maybe targetedjustice.com, and even they didn't know. It was trial and error. It was looking up information. It was connecting dots. It was doing the research. And this is just my guess, for them to get to where they are. And now these things are actually coming through Senate hearings saying, yeah, something's not right here. And rightfully so. I will admit, had I never ended up on this end of the spectrum, in this particular, wherever I am on the spectrum at this point, I probably wouldn't have thought anything else of it. I thought Havana Syndrome was interesting, but I would have never thought anything. I would have probably been on to something else, because those type of things, and military action and whatever those devices are under that type of authority. I'm not necessarily politically connected. I would have probably made a comment on my show about, who the president is and who the vice president is, and maybe something that happened during an election. But for me to continually speak on a subject that I had zero knowledge, at least in the human sense, I had zero knowledge of, zero interest in, would have never come across, not ever, had it not been for someone saying, hey, let's throw this person in the mix. Let's throw them in the mix. Based on, I just think it would be fun. Or this person is a threat to humanity. What? Or I don't like them. They're connected. This person is connected. They have governmental connections. They have law enforcement connections. They have, political, maybe military, maybe court or judicial, whatever type of connections that will get them to a point where they can say, hey, I want to hurt this person. I don't just want to hurt them. I want to destroy them. And I don't just want to destroy them. I mean, I want to torture them and destroy them. I hope these words won't get me blocked too bad, and not only that, I want to see and watch this person writhe in pain. And that ain't even enough. I want people to come around them and perpetrate certain acts so that it can continue. And not only that's not even enough. That's not enough. I want to take everything that they have. I don't want anybody to be able to be around them to help them when they are in need. Like, so let's manipulate the people around them. That's not even enough. That's not enough. I want to block and stop their daily activities. That's not even enough. That's not enough. I want to be able to watch them crash and burn. And I want people to be around to record it every second of every minute of every hour of every day. And that's still not enough. What? Durdana, what? Yeah. And it, however it is, again, not everybody is targeted and gang stalked the same. So it looks different in different areas based on different information and different scenarios that you might have gone through. Again, if you're politically connected, you're militarily connected, if you're financially or jurisdictions or, based on law enforcement, state, local law enforcement, however it is that you feel you may be connected. And then there are those individuals who are not connected that way at all. That would be me. I have no connections other than, maybe indirectly family members might be, connected in that way. It has nothing to do with me. I don't know their history. I don't know their record or how they grew up or how they served, if they served our country. I have no idea. I know of it. I don't know how it pans out. I don't know what they were connected to. I don't know what programs they may have joined or not joined, unbeknownst to me. I was probably not even born when it happened. That's a strong possibility. So how does someone non-criminal, non-connected, non-essential to any elite programs, a non-entity when it comes to anything politically, end up on a potential quote-unquote list of some sort that puts them in a situation to be targeted, manipulated, otherwise harassed due to a possible potential retaliatory or seen as being as a harm or harmful to American citizens. How do you go from that? How do you go from a non-criminal surveillance, watch, target, I don't know, monitoring, whatever the case might be, to this person going through painful, hurtful, harmful, manipulative, family disassociation, and probably other psychological and traumatic issues for a lot of individuals that put them in a situation where they had to be institutionalized in a lot of cases, incarcerated in a lot of cases, and also medicated in a lot of cases. I can't make this up. Again, if you want more information and more knowledge, don't take my word for it. It's not only is there plenty of information out there to see, these particular subgroups that are targeted groups of subgroups that are probably elite underground groups at this point in some cases are now being put on trial with the Senate. How do you explain that? So no longer will I accept any, you don't hear a whole lot of people over on Substack now saying, oh, these people are delusional, they're crazy. You have to look the Senate in the face now and say, these people are crazy. Now, your family members might still say that. The neighbors across the street, of course, because they don't have anything else to hang their dirty laundry on. They don't. They don't have a clothesline to hang up their dirty laundry anymore. Because all they got is, oh, they're crazy. Oh yeah, that person was always crazy. They, but they have no recourse. Like, based on what? Oh, they just say crazy stuff. But the stuff that is being said now is being put on trial with the Senate. So you have to explain that. Why is the Senate putting MK Ultra on trial? Why is the Senate putting DEW on trial? Why is the Senate now putting targeting on trial? Why? Is the Senate crazy? Because that's what you're going to have to say. You're going to have to say that, oh, these particular jurisdictions and authorities of the court, whatever the political government, Senate, they've been, they're under mind control too. It's voodoo. Oh, no, don't look over there. Look over here. I don't understand. You're going to have to I'm making light of it because it's if it sounds ridiculous, it's because it is ridiculous. So again, you're now going to have to look a Senate majority in the face and tell them that the evidence that's being exposed is not what you see is not really what you're looking at. That's what you're going to have to tell them. But they have witnesses now that are coming forward and saying this absolutely did happen. And this is how it happened, under whose authority, under whose guidelines, under whose hand, who was in charge when this happened, and why. When this was supposed to be meant for whatever this was, the 9/11 tower situation, or some other type of quote unquote perceived threat situation, and it snowballed into, I don't like my former coworker, so I'm gonna have them hunted. How does it get there? I'm mad at this person and I have connections and money and I want them to, they hurt my feelings, so I want them to suffer. When did it snowball into that? I don't particularly like these groups of people, so I want to do something to them to make me feel better. When did it snowball into that? And this is what I am assuming part of the reason why these things have come to light and are now on trial. To even think that the local government, whatever they may be, politicians, mayors, police, anyone in your state or local government that could possibly know that something like this is happening, and they say, okay, based on what we are being told, not an investigation, not because we are watching the people who are filing the reports, who are making these claims against private American citizens, but just based on a hunch. And somebody called in, a whole lot of somebody's called in. Hey, you guys need to send somebody over here to watch this person. They're out of control. They're evil. They're mean. They're hateful. They're doing this with no evidence, no receipts, no documentation, no nothing. I wasn't aware that you were able to do that. Anyway, apparently you are. You can call and file a false report. Of course, whatever entity that you're making this claim with, they have to watch this person and do exactly that to find out if what these people are saying is true. Is this person doing this? Are they that? Did they this? Do they have evidence of this actually happening? They have to, they can make the claim, and the person that they're making the claim against can absolutely be watched, followed, monitored, recorded, whatever the case might be. All of that can happen based on a false claim. I did not know that I didn't know that could happen. That's awesome. But anyway, that's what's happening. That is absolutely what's happening. I had a police car, apparently based on an eyewitness, that said, hey, the local police department is sitting in front of your house. I was in the house doing chores. Had no idea that the police were even out there. And apparently they had been out there for some time. I'm in the house. So in my first mind, because I am a person of analytical and decipher and discernment, are they out there for my protection? Or are they out there to my detriment? Did someone somehow file yet another false police report to bring the law enforcement literally to my front door? So again, that's just all part of giving a history and a background of what happens, and getting into micro-targeting. Again, having the police pull up at your front door is micro-targeting. That's an example. Being able to even get close enough to someone to be able to hire, manipulate, coerce, threaten a family member to be involved in your attacks. It is and it is not micro-targeting. It's not micro-targeting because it's all a part of their manipulation campaign. So that's a wider view. Micro-targeting comes when let's just say they know you want something and your family member has it. Maybe it's something that do you have my lighter over there? And they'll take the lighter and throw it in the trash and get rid of it. Or they're looking at it and they'll say, no, we don't, I don't know where you're, we don't have your so-and-so. I just use that as an example. I don't have a need for a lighter, but just something that you need that has to go through someone that they are in control of. Let me say that again. Micro-targeting, as the family manipulation campaign goes in a wider view, whittling it down to micro-targeting would be something that you need. Not just something that you want. It could be a piece of paper, a document. Maybe they got your mail by mistake, or something was sent to them and you need them to bring it to you. They can lie, say, I don't see it. I don't have it. Oh, I don't know. I think we threw that away. Just to make you have to go through whatever the process is all over again. Let me use a different example. I just thought of it because just recently it happened. I ended up having to go to the BMV. Yes, Dardana let her driver's license expire, right? Let's just use this as an example. Licenses expire. Different states have different rules. I get it. I get that, but when it comes to documentation for certain states, it could get sticky. It could get really intricate, really complex. And I get guidelines, rules, and regulations. You want to follow the guidelines, rules, and regulations. So you gotta, let's just say you have to take a test. You have to take a test. It's been some years since I've had to take a knowledge or a road test, but this is what I was told based on how my particular situation, but it was an opportunity. And this is another, oh wow, yeah, I'm drifting into other shows, but this is how you give your targeter, your perpetrator, ammunition. This is why the distractions go on. This is why they use the noise campaign. This is why they use the distraction campaigns, the manipulative campaigns, so that you will not be able to keep up with all the dirt that they're throwing in your face, all of the dust that they're kicking up. They want you to not be able to see. They want your vision to be blurry. They don't want you to see everything, so that sooner or later you're going to miss something and it's going to be to your detriment or your downfall, for your hurt, harm, and pain. And that's just an example. So yeah, let's give her the runaround. Let's tell her to get this and then say we can't use it. Let's tell her to go get this document. It's going to take her weeks and she's going to come back and we can't use it. Let's do this and then let's why you cannot go to the BMV and pick up your driver's license is crazy. They have to mail it. Well, your mail is being manipulated. So it's a gamble, right? You might get what they send in the mail. Then again, you might not. My mail has been tampered with for years. So again, another form of how can we distract, cause an illusion, kick up dust to make things fuzzy and complicated, and even closing your local pharmacy drive-through. If you have a local pharmacy that you use as a drive-through for whatever the case might be, I do. And if they know, if they are aware, yeah, she's going to have to go. She's going to have to go to the pharmacy and go through the drive-through. And these are just examples. Just follow with me for a minute. And you get there and the pharmacy is closed on a day that it should, by all given accounts, be open. But it's closed this particular day. And the pharmacist says, yeah, we're short-staffed. But it's always on the day when you... Now, every other day when you drive by that pharmacy, it's wide open for business. And probably nobody in line. But on the day you have to pick up your prescriptions or whatever you're going to the drive-thru for, it's closed. It's blocked. There's 6 cars in front of you. That's micro-targeting. That's what micro-targeting looks like. And when you leave, let's just say you're going to take the same route back. All of a sudden there's a police car in the middle of the road and there are cones and somebody sweeping dust and there's cars on the side. Now, there was none of that on your way to the pharmacy. But since you were 6 cars in line and you've been sitting in line for a good 30 minutes or longer, when you go back, they've had a chance to set up some street theater. So when you go back, oh, there's everything. There's 3 cars on the left, 2 cars on the right. There's a police car at the corner blocking. But there's no cones. They're not saying you can't come through, because the ultimate goal is to make you wreck your car or do something to have you cited for something that was a setup in the first place. A lot of people have mentioned to me that they can see the setup, the street theater, even when they're in their cars, the setup to be able to have you wreck or somehow get into an accident. That is definitely 100% true. Not only that, the DEW is being used on my vehicle to try to sabotage, damage, or otherwise stop my car from operating. And that's been being done for years and years. And I've heard the ignorant comments, get a jump box. Well, I did have a jump box. I got the car jump, and the car is still being tampered with. I don't know that there's an air tag on my car. I don't particularly care. But yes, putting air tags on your vehicle is also another form of being able to track your whereabouts, so they could have the setup ready. There's somebody there. They follow you into the grocery store, the post office, to the, again, like I said, the pharmacy. They follow you to wherever you're going to visit, whoever you're visiting. This is something that is a 24-hour, 365 surveillance, observation, and monitoring, so that they can see, quote unquote, who you are, what you're doing at any given moment. And they can make the report and then adjust themselves accordingly to be able to set you up in a situation where they can hurt, harm, or place you in danger, or otherwise shut you down. Again, micro-targeting. Micro-targeting are those things that you can see up close and personal. The big picture can still be a little fuzzy. Again, with the introduction of the Senate hearings, that's being cleared up, but it can still be a little fuzzy based on how you're connected to all of this. Again, if you're collected at an upper echelon level of elite, yeah, I don't know anything about that. That is not my lane. But I'm out here in the street trying to have a life like any other civilian would, and taking care of family members that I've been entrusted to take care of. So either I'm entrusted to take care of family members, or I'm crazy, but I can't be both. That would be weird. But again, I'm taking the crazy or insane mental health issue for myself off the table, and most targeted individuals should, now that this information is being questioned by the Senate. A lot of these areas are being questioned by the Senate. A lot of these areas are now under investigation by the Senate. So I can't make that up. Everybody has the same access, and probably better access to technology and information than I do. I am just Durdana. But I am something to the Most High. I am the daughter of infinite love. I am the goddess of divine light. That just is what it is. And it wouldn't even stoop to a level of even playing into the stuff that you can see that they don't even realize you can see and hear them. They still feel like you can't see them. You can't hear them. You can't smell. You can't touch, because they are under the quote unquote so-called perceived protection of something or someone, some type of organization or authority, and that's no longer true. And well, I guess I could try to wrap this up on a lighter note, but I don't know. I'll have to come back. But micro-targeting right now, like I said, is a thing. I don't think I'm inventing anything new. I'm just using that term because it goes a lot deeper than, hey, I'm being attacked. It goes a lot deeper than that. And again, with the introduction of flock cameras itself is very, very interesting. For what? Based on what? And they will say, well, the law enforcement in this area has done the research, and based on the crime in a particular area and the charts that we're looking at as far as, crime going up and crime going down in certain areas and certain neighborhoods, we need these particular devices in place. And I'm all for it. To be honest with you, a lot of people are like, what? Are you serious? Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm not conducting anything criminal in my life, so I would be, if anything, I want to be more protected. So if the flock cameras are being manipulated so that the innocent look criminal and the criminal look innocent, they're going to have to take steps to try to cover that up. That's got to be protected. It's got to be covered up. And apparently they're not doing a very good job because they're being arrested. I'm still trying to figure out, like, you have all this other stuff on the dark web or somewhere under some type of sub guise of getting your fetish off, however you want to do it. And you need a flock camera I can't make this up. I don't have TikTok, but I have access to see how these cameras are being manipulated. It's weird. Like, we have 7 million different ways to be weird and freaky on the planet. And we just invented one more way? Anyway. Like, how much fetish do you have to... The adult industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and we needed one more way to be weird? That is just, anyway, those individuals are thankfully being arrested. I guess that was my high note. I was a long way to get to my high note. Those individuals are being found out how they are manipulating the cameras, and yeah, no, and those aren't even the cameras that I'm worried about. I'm worried about the cameras in my bathroom. Like, yeah, all of the freaky stuff they've seen me do in the privacy of my own home. I didn't need it on the street. But yeah, enjoy the show. I don't know what to tell you. I hope you enjoying what you're looking at. I don't understand. I really don't. I don't get it. And again, there are so many different ways that we can help society with monitoring and tracking and tagging and all of it. All of this that is being used because somebody so-and-so got their feelings hurt, or I got into an argument with my coworker and you cut me off in traffic and I outrank you, and ooh, you just wait, I'm gonna get my revenge on you, and ooh, you always been the one that shines in the room and I'm gonna turn off your lights. Like, instead of using it for that, can't we find some children? Can't we monitor non-criminal sort of, well, I guess they are criminals, we're going to monitor them, but the PDF of it all, the people that are harming children, there are multi-millions of children that are missing on the planet, period. We can't use some of this technology in a more progressive way. We're quickly coming up on 2027 and we're still worried. We still in our feelings about something and somebody that don't even matter, that's long gone, water that's long been under the bridge. We still, again, I understand narcissistic behavior, and I understand hurt feelings. I get it. I'm not particularly a narcissist, but I get it. Some people you can't just tell to get over it. They don't know how. Some people you can't just tell them forgive and forget. They don't know how. Some people you can't just tell them to, quote unquote, according to the Holy Book, turn the other cheek. They don't know how. Some people you can't elevate them to a higher mind. They're not capable. You can't give someone an alternative, several alternatives to turn around and go in the other direction. They're not capable, or they're afraid to. They're scared to depend on and believe in themselves. They can't do it. They're not able to. You can't show someone the higher love in God. They don't want to see it. They want to be mad. I was literally told, I can't make this shit up. I was literally told in my face by a family member, I want to be mad. That's scary. That is some scary shit. Yeah, I immediately, I'm never going to fuck with you again. Like, not ever in life. I get it. You blood, but I will never. Yeah, that is evil. You swallowed a demon somewhere along the way. Not swallowed. You swallowed a demon somewhere along the line in your life, and I feel sorry for you. That's weird. I cannot make this. Literally, somebody look in your face and they tell you, look, I want to be evil. Okay. I'm going to leave you to it, boo-boo, because, yeah, that's not my lane. I'm not perfect, but I don't intentionally go out and plan and sign up to join a gang and sign my life away to the devil to be evil. I'm not perfect. I'm sure I've hurt plenty of people's feelings before, not intentionally, probably because I told the truth and it hurt their feelings. That's usually how I hurt people's feelings. I don't just go around telling you, because you, again, if you haven't heard my show on truncated lies and weaponizing the truth, could be the other way around. Truncating the truth and weaponizing lies, whatever the case might be. I have a show out there. Go look it up. Substack.com, stage 32. Patreon, and also they're uploading stuff to YouTube. I doubt if it's getting through. I'm banned on TikTok, don't bother. And Instagram, I have a link. So yeah, look that up, because if you start telling lies, you got to keep telling lies. You just gonna, you just gonna keep lying all the way to the grave. I've seen it happen. You just gonna keep lying and keep lying and keep lying, and them lies gonna follow you everywhere you go. You got to, and the lie ain't gonna never be the same. It ain't gonna be, it's gonna change and transform, because it's a shapeshifter. It's not like the truth. The truth is solid. It stands on the word of the Most High. It's not gonna change. You have to, you can't even shoot the truth. You can't, you can't get rid of it. You can't, but a lie, you can kill it and bring it back to life. You can, that's weird. You can, and it's not going to come back the same. It's going to be the clone of a lie that you told back in 73, and it shows up again in 27. It's funny how the lies come back to bite you in the ass. It really does. I can't make this up. I cannot. But you're going to just have to keep telling lies over and over and over again. It's like a drug. Yeah, once you start telling lies, it's hard to stop. It's hard to stop telling lies. Like, it's just going to be over and over and over again. And that lie going to take on a life of its own. And then it's going to start procreating and producing. It's going to start multiplying. Yeah. But the truth is what it is. All you have to do is tell it once. And there it stands. So, but again, this is Jordana with more on micro-targeting. I didn't get a whole lot into the frequency, the 88 portal and shifting into 2027. I guess that just wasn't in the cards. Today, we are moving through, as we speak. Like I said, right now, what is it? It's pretty much 2:30 right now where I am, August 12th, 2026. We're moving through it. And it feels weird. This is one of those energies that just feel icky, but it's serving a purpose. I promise you. I saw it play out over the last couple of days right in front of my house. It's like, wow. It's fun to watch. It's a little weird, but it is fun to watch when the shift plays out right. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's the crazy part about it. So once we get more into that shift, I will be back. I'll be back with more information on how that's playing out, what it looks like, how it's affecting just the things around your energy. I see these things because the Most High God puts it in my face. I don't go looking for it. I'm not digging for it. I'm not walking around. I don't need to do an investigation on the truth. If there's people out there now investigating lies, that's weird. You don't have to do an investigation on the truth. It is what it is, and it plays out literally right in front of my face. I can't make this up. So yeah, rock with me, stay with me. There'll be more on the shift going into 2027. This is the 8-8 portal right now. We're moving through the eclipse. It's coming through the shift and the frequency. It's coming through don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. For those of you who are trying to stop, block, and shut me down, look for it yourself. You're going to find it. I don't think you want to, though. This is Jordana. Thank you so much for rocking with me. And we'll be back real soon. Thank you.